And thank you for the partners, to dialogues, for having us here. Thank you so much. Okay, you're almost done, huh? Oh, finally. Okay, sorry. That's good. Okay, we are PACE. Today I'm going to tell you a journey, two journeys actually. One of a company that's been in the market since 1968, and mine, which I moved there 7 years, 8 years ago. And it's been what I learned two major things. One, when I went there, understanding how you can bring back the memory of something that doesn't exist anymore. And then second, I learned fast track. What I'm going to show you, and something has been done in very such a short of time, a lot of pressure. We are a big firm. We are more than 850, 400 multi-D, different countries, different, several disciplines all together. Everything is moving fast, even though we are trying to be slow, at least what I like. Also, in the last few years, we were able to win several awards. And so what actually I did when I moved to Kuwait, which was a country that I didn't know, I was really fascinated by the culture. It actually came up strongly to me. And I tried to bring some principles that were already there. So try to bring sophistication in details, the clarity, understand the functionality, etc., etc. And I heard today several times something that I believe, context. I saw in many presentations, context is something that, I think at some point of the history of architecture was completely lost. So I say, let's start from the context. Let's understand what PACE did in this more than 50 years. So basically, we plugged several projects everywhere. And so I started hanging out with my team, which is, as I say, PACE is big, and we have two different kind of projects. 70% with big internationals where we help them to deliver blah, 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 blah. And the one I was mostly focused on, the small, tiny 30%, I was focused most on bringing local designers. So I went to the university, engaged them, bring young designers, mostly women, much better, to be honest, than designers. And this is some projects from PACE from the past. So PACE was a company that brought Gropius, SOM in the 60s, and they actually were quite engaged on the design process. So the precast concrete, and play with the mass, have the right, percentages between solid and void was something that, was spread to internationals. In the meantime, Kuwait was changing from the pre-oil to right now, a lot of traces has been lost. So I asked my team, take me through what was Kuwait before. And there was Kuwait. It was a completely different city, right? There was an interesting, the price of the land was completely different, so everything was most horizontal. I'm not saying we are against vertical skyscrapers, but what I saw from these pictures was reminding me something that was very positive. A lot of green, a lot of interaction with the street, with the shop front. And then something happened, like all the modernist, let's say, foundation got lost. Everything was basically turned down, and then they started with new replacement with the Aluku bond, with my respect, buildings that look like all the same to each other. And then some spaces were forgotten, basically. And this is what Kuwait is right now. So as a leader of a Kuwaiti company, I say, okay, let's start from the past. Let's understand what we've done, what we lost, and let's understand how we can bring back a language, at least can give us, can give us some calmness in this mess. I'm not complaining about Kuwait, but there was something lost in the last few years. In the 2018, one of the nicest, let's say, modernist building was destroyed, and then finally open up, let's say, put back in the dialogue that, you know, we need to preserve, we need to reuse. And finally, this is happening. So this is the Souk Mubarakia. Was one of the first, let's say, projects, heavy project. We worked for 3 years for this project. The client came without any brief. And then we helped them on creating 360,000 pedestrian experience. We plug a small museum, an hotel, like few mosques, all the walkways, all the pathways are shaded pathways that are covered with PV panels. So we achieved G-Star, GSAS 5 stars, and architecture-wise, we try to investigate what was the past, but try to keep it contemporary. And we go back from the vernacular. I did something that was quite controversial. The original design was a little bit crazy, and I wanted to, and no one cared about this intervention. So what I did, I published in one of the magazines in Italy the crazy design. So in Kuwait, they start saying, oh, what's going on? And then they put a commission, and let's say, and we work with the commission, with the national culture, I don't remember, NCCL anyway. And they were involved with us with the design, so they share with us the view, their understanding of vernacular architecture. We plug a museum that was not part of the brief, where the whole map of Kuwait is impressed on the facade. We identify several pavilions. And the fun part, we extruded the footprint of an old house that actually was owned by the Al Saud. So in order to create a connection with the Saudi's family. And let me play this video, if I know how to, maybe, thank you. The sound. So that's the Kuwait I like, the one I experienced that is still there, hidden. And this is the Kuwait is currently now, which is invaded by this fully glass building. Actually, I'm sorry, awful and not appropriate, I would say. So this is the project, so the full Greater Mubarakia Souk. So the intervention was basically restoring the existing shops and introducing new activities and make it fully pedestrian. So all the cars have been moved down to the basement with the car park. So we created different alternatives of transportations and you know, we want people out. We want people to live outside. I mean, like in Dubai, you have been doing for many years, but in Kuwait, we are not there yet. So we are pushing with that. It was three months of data collections. We went through every single buildings to understand the status and the maintenance, etc., etc. The biggest exercise that we didn't want to have a pastiche or something fake. So that's why we worked with different consultants to help us understand the history of what exactly Kuwait was looking for and how, you know, architecture was developed in that specific area. Okay. Next. No. Stop. I need to go back to the PowerPoint. And then still, adaptive use. We have the opportunity to, This is one of the key buildings, the JW Marriott. So the client came to us asking, he wanted to give a new dress to this building. And I came after 7 days with sketches, changing this, changing that. And the client told me, Mr. Paolo, you need to go back home and drink wine. Why you are asking me to completely change my building? And actually, at the end of the day, he followed our instruction, and now we save carbon because the structure, the existing structure, stay as it is. The intervention that we did, still connected with the ground, with the public realm, the ground floor, it's something that permeable that allows you to have a luxury destination, which is actually was looking back before was only the lobby, 3,000 square meters of lobby that was useless from our end. So we converted, we create a new facade system that actually improve the performances, and then we clean all the, undefined elements on top. And now the arrival is quite, I'm quite late, so I need to be very fast. Another project we won, still an adaptive reuse, we recently won the Almutana, which is in front of our hotel. Still engaging, creating connectivity. We open the ground floor and we create a nice destination. At the same time, the rooftop and on top of the podium, which is full of equipment, has been removed. So a new life of the building, but preserving it. That was the goal. Don't completely change or destroy the facade. Another building, this is new. It's actually quite related to the language that you saw from the 70s, but is a 150 square meters footprint, which actually, floor plate, sorry, which actually has a contemporary technology, and the core is treated as a sculpture, like a totem. We are doing also the Institute of Baking Studies. Here, the exercise is how we can hide the car park, because the demand is crazy. We had a fight. We say, come on, the car park in 10 years, maybe you don't need it anymore. So let's treat it as a part of the building, so you will not see it. The interaction interior, and finally is getting there. Same in the relationship with the public realm, with the exteriors, because we want to bring outside, which was actually part of the education in Kuwait in the 70s. We designed this school, which actually focused on two main elements: going outside, having the precast element that actually are quite local and well done. Sorry, the picture is very bad, but I was so proud of it. And then we are supporting the community with Green Kuwait. So we identify potential green pockets, and we are coming up with almost pro bono design, because we want to engage the community. We help them on finding resources and funding to make it work. This is like a very quick exercise we recently did. And again, Kuwait has a 5% of green per person. It's zero. It's like 2 meters, not even 1 meter, 1 square meter. Shueik waterfront, we went to the municipality. We came up with ideas on plugging new, let's say, activities on existing landscape. And we helped them on finding the donation through National Bank of Kuwait, and we made it. And the last one, which is not in Kuwait, which I'm very proud of my designers, is a mosque in KSA, where actually the arrival sequence is equal for male and female. And then, from a different point of view, of course, they can experience this like cascading of light, and they have, the demarcation of the Qibla. I mean, this has been designed by my team. And I think that's it. Thank you very much.